For many student athletes, and more importantly, parents, the foundation and the biggest part of college recruiting comes from strength and conditioning. The physical preparation that you need more than ever in today's world of college baseball recruiting. College baseball is now older. If we talk about the settlement, it's the average age of a freshman is 20. The average age of a senior is 24 to 25 in some cases. What are some of the key prerequisites that you are looking for, not only with regard to pitchers, but for athletes as a whole? You know, I try to get parents to understand every staff is different. Is it a calling card of physicality? Is it athleticism, or a combination of both?
Well, that's a great question, especially where we're going now with the 34 and the current climate of college baseball. I think it's so important for the parents if I could provide value on a non self interest base, if I were just a consultant. You know, the days of a coach, myself included, looking at a guy and getting excited about everything works with that player right there and that young man. He's a good student. He's got character, integrity. He's long, but he's 15 pounds short. Those days are pretty much over. And so for the coach, to answer your question, Walter, it becomes: are they physically ready to compete as a freshman?
Every college coach that joins me during the week on Coach's Corner talks about physicality, impacting a baseball, the ability to get behind a baseball and deliver a baseball with authority. All of that comes from strength conditioning. It is an integral part, and it's probably the most underutilized facet of travel or club baseball, because we spend so much time playing the games and the tournaments and the showcases. We do not give our bodies enough time to grow. And this is the time period, the ages of 15 through 18 or 19, that senior year, postgraduate year of high school. You need to understand the landscape that is ahead of you.
I hate to be, to pile on with, kids these days are overcoached, and, everybody's got a private hitting coach, and much of that is great, right? That is awesome. I wish I had a private hitting coach when I was that age. But if parents spent as much money, or kids spent as much attention in trying to find someone who could help them on the physical side, we'd have a lot more players who are ready to impact the ball right away. And all of those things are good. Mechanics are great, right? Learning how to use your swing and in a different way is awesome. But your body is what drives that, right? You don't impact the baseball because you have nice mechanics. You have nice mechanics because you have good body control. And you can't do that if you're scrawny and weak and having to lunge and create force in other ways. So I think that I think it's the biggest impact that most freshmen realize, I'm behind. I got to get going here when they get to college campus, right? And the earlier they can get started on that, the better chances they have of getting on the field right away.
College athletes at the Division III, II, and I level typically are going to be at minimum 185 pounds on average. On average, most position players are going to be somewhere between 5'11", 5'10" to 6'2". They're going to weigh anywhere from 185 to 205. Most pitchers are going to be in that 200 plus category.
And you got to get some size. You've got to get bigger. You can't just wait for it to happen, right? So there's part of that, but that's not just it, right? You can be 225 pounds of rock solid muscle, but if you don't know how to control your body, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't, right? That's the athleticism part that I was talking about earlier.
Movement screens are going to show where your student athlete is weak and where there should be an area of concern that can be avoided through proper stretching, physical therapy, things of that nature. And that is really important for parents and student athletes to understand.
Maybe they have a PE teacher that helps them lift, and they have a class and they lift, or maybe they have a coach who tells them, hey, got to get in the weight room. But what are we doing in there? Are we doing things that actually increase functional fitness and functional strength? Core stability is the biggest lacking that I see from our young guys coming in. Is they might have a little strength, upper body or even lower body, or have some size, it looks like, but learning how to control their posture, learning how to control themselves, when they get off platform a little bit, right? It's one thing to stand there when it's easy, but right when their footing's off a little bit, or they get sped up a little bit, or that ball moves into them a little bit, what do, right? Do they still know how to create some space and some balance? That's the weight room showing up.
Really take the time to get evaluated. Plan from your freshman year on. Make strength training an integral part of your weekly routine. Within your movement screen, when you're getting that done by your PT or kinesiologist, what they're going to discuss with you or your student athlete is, by being proactive with this assessment, it's going to help eliminate, it's like an injury prevention insurance policy. Physical strength training is daily. It is in season, it is off season, it is all year round. It is not for 3 months during the winter. It is not for a small part of the year. It is 12 months a year. It is something that is measured on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. At the college level, you have college strength coaches, you have trainers, you have PTs. This is an integral part of college athletics. It requires, more importantly, it demands time management skills. It demands discipline on a daily basis, requires you to make decisions. You can't avoid it. You can't get away from it.
Just the maturity standpoint to be able to come in on your own and establish a routine of work, and I think that would be the second thing that I would offer up to parents is, are you preparing your son from a routine of 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.? This is what you do. And when people say, hey, Coach Green, you've had a really good track record of developing infielders or hitters, or if you ask any coach who's had a record of developing players into professional baseball, it's not the secret of the changeup grip or, the slot position or maybe getting the glove out. But the secret is in having a routine and being able to evaluate what you need to do to be a good player, but then more importantly, what you need to do to improve. And then the player having the skills to be able to take criticism and see it as a positive and learning, and then go out and do that.
At the travel ball levels, we get a false sense of security because we're only playing against our age groups. And without understanding what is going to be required as a college student athlete, as a high school athlete, you're going to regress because others will begin to pass you by that are focusing on their strength routines and their stretching routines. So make sure that you understand, over and above your skill set development, your mental preparation, your academics, and things of that nature. So make sure you are taking the necessary time, seeking out the necessary guidance with making sure that your student athlete can be at their best, not only with regard to high school, but moving beyond high school, making sure they understand that time management dynamic of making sure their body and their mind are prepared is critical to becoming a recruitable college caliber student athlete.